Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us again. Sir, sales is the most important thing in business.
Yes.
And there are so many salespeople out there who are actually struggling with it. So the question is how to become a better salesperson.
Interesting question, how to become a better salesperson. Sales is the backbone of any company. All the great leaders all across the globe, they have been masterful sales guys. And when we talk about masterful sales guys, we cannot ignore Steve Jobs, the god of sales, period. This reminds me of a couple of incidents from his life. Steve Jobs was 12 years old and he was looking for one component, which he couldn't find. He checked in the yellow pages. There he found the number of Bill Hewlett, CEO of HP, Hewlett Packard. Steve Jobs is 12 years old. He's calling the CEO of HP without giving the second thought that, oh, what if he says no? And he's just 12 years old. He calls Bill Hewlett. Bill Hewlett is amused, surprised, after knowing that he's just 12 years old, and he agreed to his demand. He gave him the component. Now, what would you expect? If multi-millionaire agrees to your request, you would expect some gratitude, right? But he was Steve Jobs. Next thing he asked, he said, okay, Bill, I want to work for your company. Am I on board? He said, yes. Steve Jobs is 12 years old and he got the job in HP. Second incident, once he visited Atari office, famous video gaming company, he went straight to the reception. He started talking to the receptionist and this is what he said. He said, I'm not willing to go from here until I'm hired. She said, what the hell? Who are you? He said, I'm Steve Jobs. And he was looking like a hippie. So receptionist, she was hesitant, nervous. She went straight to her boss and this is how she explained the incident. She said, one hippie guy is standing at the reception and he's saying, I'm not willing to go until I'm hired. So shall I call the cops, boss? Well, guess what? Steve Jobs was hired at Atari as well. This is not it. He started Apple, of course. They started, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. They were in garage. They were looking for the publicist. Now, not the second best publicist, the best publicist. Regis McKenna. They got to know. Steve Jobs called Regis McKenna. Regis McKenna was way too expensive for Apple because Apple was in garage. He called Regis McKenna without giving it a second thought. He asked him what he wanted. Regis McKenna said, no, absolutely not. I'm not in. Guess what? Steve Jobs kept calling him for straight 2 weeks until Regis said yes. You know, he always asked what he wanted.
Wow, what a great input from Steve Jobs, sir. I wasn't knowing that. So my next question is how to use the skill of asking.
Yes. I'm going to give you guys exact framework. But before that, since I've been his huge admirer, one more thing. When he rejoined Apple somewhere around 95, 96, right, he called his biggest rival. At that time, who was the biggest rival of Apple? Bill Gates. Apple was on the verge of bankruptcy. Steve Jobs rejoined Apple and he called Bill Gates. He convinced Bill Gates to fund Apple simply by asking. Now, how to use the skill in your sales? This framework is really important, so please pay attention. You know what most of the sales guys do? The moment they call their prospect, they start blabbering. Pa, 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 pa. Oh, come on, your prospect is not interested in your blabbering. And they start impressing their prospect. You don't have to impress your prospect. You have to solve their problems. And you have to show them that you are the right guy who can actually solve their problems. Now, how to do that? Understand this. Diagnose them properly, right? By asking them right set of questions. Once you diagnose them properly, like a doctor, you get to know the pain point. Once you get to know their pain point, their current state, now you should be asking next set of questions about their desired outcome, where they are and where they want to reach. Now they should get convinced that you are the right person who can actually solve their problem. It's time to close now. Ask about money. Don't be afraid. Don't be hesitant. This is important part, really important part of sales, closing. So if you have shown them a great value, if you actually have a great value with you in form of yourself or your product, then you shouldn't be hesitating in terms of money. Ask about money. So get to know about their current state by asking right kind of questions, diagnose them properly, get to know about their desired state, where they want to reach, then close. That's how actually you become a far better sales guy, because your prospects start realizing, oh, this guy can actually solve my problem. So become a problem solver.
Wow, sir. Great insight. Actually, when I was in corporate, I was missing the exact same thing.
You were in sales?
Yes, I was in sales.
You were everywhere, huh?
So this was this framework was missing. I was more focusing on closing instead of like diagnosing the problem of.
Yes, yeah, that's not your fault. Most of the people, they are taught about their product and they are basically forced to close. Closing is important, but how does actual closing happen? Understand this framework. If you understand this, you practice it, you don't remain a same old cheesy sales guy who's just willing to close, who's being pushy. You become a real salesperson who's willing to solve the problems of their prospects by asking, by understanding, by listening. So I hope this framework is going to work and going to help you do great things, achieve great things in sales. Should you have more questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, Pep Talk India. We have also a great news for you. We have come up with this wonderful, carefully crafted public speaking course. You can check on our website, peptalkindia.com. Thank you so much. Love you guys.